university, I extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. We also have respected Dr. Muhammad Fahim, sir, who has joined us all the way from Thammasat University, Bangkok, and graced our program today and given us his valuable time. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir, and I extend a very warm welcome on behalf of our university. Dear participants, it's a privilege to announce that we have with us Mr. Sajjad Alam, respected Deputy Secretary to the Government of Assam, Department of Commerce and Industries. Thank you so much for joining us today, sir, and giving us your valuable time from your extremely busy schedule. And on behalf of our university, I welcome you to this program today. It is my honor to announce that we have another distinguished guest, Professor M. Amarjit Singh from Jamia Millia Islamia University, Delhi. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Delhi, sir, and giving us your precious time. And on behalf of our university, I welcome you to our program today. Dear participants, as per the suggestion of the Actis Policy Affairs, Department of Actis Policy Affairs, Government of Assam, the Center for Southeast Asian Studies was established in the year 2019 with a vision to establish it as a nucleus of knowledge sharing, research, and various diverse interdisciplinary academic pursuits. The center has already completed its preliminary preparatory works for initiating different academic courses and also research activities. And we are glad to inform you that this is the first public event that the Center for Southeast Asian of Kumar Bhaskar Verma Sanskrit and Ancient Studies University has organized. Dear participants, as the world today is going through a very crisis-ridden time because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but even then, we believe that there is some kind of silver lining in this crisis also. And from the angle of India's foreign policy, we see that there is a great opportunity to cultivate more extensive and long-term relation of mutual cooperation and collaboration of Government of India. And therefore, the theme of this webinar has been chosen as COVID-19 and Actis Policy, India's challenges and opportunities in Southeast Asia. The main purpose of this webinar is to explore all the possibilities and prospects and for India's greater engagement with Southeast Asian region. So that is the background of organizing this international webinar for 2 days. And dear participants, I will not take any more time. And because we have many distinguished guests who has graced our program today, and I'm sure all of you are eagerly waiting to listen to all of these speakers. And therefore, with this note, I welcome you once again to our program today, this 2-day international webinar on COVID-19 and Actis policies, India's opportunities and challenges in Southeast Asia. Thank you for joining us today. And now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Deepak Kumar Sharma, to deliver the welcome address for today's program. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Nandita, do you hear me? Dr. Nandita, am I audible?
Sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
My love and affection to all. It is a pleasure on my part that we have gathered today. We are present in this virtual platform today on an occasion for deliberation on a very important issue. And this event has been organized by the Center for Southeast Asian Studies of our university. And at the very beginning, let me express my pleasure and satisfaction to the organizing team welcoming organizing this two-day event. My dear friends, it is a pleasure on my part that today we have a galaxy of distinguished personalities in our midst. At the very beginning, let me take the pleasure of welcoming Sri Chandra Mohan Patwari, Honorable Minister for Transport, Industry and Commerce, Parliamentary Affairs and Actis Policy of Government of Assam. Actually, it is a personal initiative. I remember with pleasure that a Center for Southeast Asian Studies was selected, our university was selected for establishing a center, and it was at this initiative of Mr. Chandra Mohan Patwari. So I take the opportunity of expressing sincere gratitude to Mr. Patwari. I also welcome Professor Nonigopal Mohanto, Professor of Political Science and Director of Center for South Asian Studies of Guwahati University. We have in our midst other three distinguished speakers, Dr. Mohammad Fahim from Thammasat University of Bangkok, Thailand, Mr. Sarjad Alam, Deputy Secretary to Government of Assam, and Professor Amarjit Singh from Jamia Millia Islamia of New Delhi. I welcome you all to this platform, and I also welcome the esteemed participants from various parts of the country as well as abroad, ranging from senior professors of universities and colleges, and also research and postgraduate students of various institutions. Dear friends, as was stated by my colleague, Dr. Nandita, that we are now having a Center for South Asian Studies in our university. In the last year only, it came into existence, but it is still in infancy. And as you know, that our university itself is in its childhood. But it is my pleasure that my colleagues are very much enthusiastic and cooperative, and as a result of which such events have been organized. It has been possible to organize such events. We are an academic institution, and what we can contribute for development of India academically and feel its presence in the South Asian countries. It is the duties and responsibilities of an institution like ours. My dear friends, as we know, the Southeast Asian countries are closely connected with India since a long past. India's relationship with Southeast Asia can be traced back to the ancient time, whether it is trade or commerce, religion, language, culture, or civilization. The Indian influence is prominent in many countries of Southeast Asia. Numerous symbolical remnants of India's influence are evident in the art, folk culture, literature, religion, language, and many other cultural aspects in countries like Cambodia, Thailand, Indonesia, Laos, etc. Through the centuries, India has been a source of inspiration for cultural, artistic, and architectural conferences in these countries. There are evidences of various ancient Indian kingdoms like the Pallavas, the Cholas, the Guptas, and the Mauryas, who had profound influences and great linkages with Southeast Asia through sea route in the southeastern coast of Indian Peninsula. Buddhism originated in India, but it more flourished in Southeast Asian countries. Indian Buddhist monks traveled to different parts of Southeast Asian countries, and people of those countries eagerly, readily accepted Buddhism. Hinduism also had its roots in many countries like Myanmar, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Vietnam, and so on. There are also many literary works, mythological and folk cultural works based on the Ramayana, but with distinctive local variations in them. If we visit any place of these countries like Thailand, you will see that people are organizing a Ramlila, of course, with their regional flavor. Apart from this, various similar alphabets and words with Sanskrit were also adopted in different local languages. The alphabets used today for Thailand, Laos, Cambodia have similarities with Indian prototype. A large number of ancient Sanskrit inscriptions have also been found in many parts of Southeast Asia. My dear friends, as a student of Sanskrit, I would like to tell you that there are so many names, proper names, which are closely connected with Sanskrit. For example, Singapore. Singapore is actually Singhapuram. Singhapuram. I have a friend who visited our university in 2018 from Silpakarn University of Bangkok. Silpakarn, actually it is Silpakarma, and Silpakarma becomes Silpakarn. And the professor visiting our university, his name is Chirapat. Chirapat Prapanda Vidya. The name is very much Sanskrit. Chirapat is Shripad in Sanskrit. Shripad. And Prapanda Vidya is Prapanna Vidya. So I'm just telling you in a lighter way. However, the beauty of these cultural convergences lies in the fact that these were always peaceful and without any forceful conquest. There was no evidence of any military activities or colonization or subjugation on the part of India in those countries. My dear friends, as we know, that keeping in sight of this historical attachment and linkages, the post-independent India strived to instill stronger relationship with Southeast Asian countries. It was in 1991 that with the backdrop of the end of Cold War and emergence of a new economic world order, along with India opening its markets under the new economic policy or liberalization of Indian economy, the Indian government under the Prime Ministership of Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao initiated a paradigm shifting foreign policy by starting the Look East policy to reinforce extensive political, economic, and strategic relationship with its neighbors in the Southeast Asia. Since then, till the year 2014, the Look East policy was boosted its engagements with Southeastern neighbors for more than 2 decades. Initially, India's Look East policy was conceived more as a policy to cultivate economic and cultural ties with Southeast Asia, but later it also instilled the security and strategic dimension to it. Eventually, the Look East policy attained a multi-dimensional relationship status with cultural, economic, political, institutional, strategic, and security component to it. In the year in the year 2014, under the Prime Ministership of Sri Narendra Modi, the Look East policy received greater impetus and it was elevated to Act East policy. Rather than a mere symbolic change in name, it marked a much more extensive and rigorous shift in diplomatic purview of India's position, role, and relationship in the Southeast Asian region. The Act East policy is now having four fundamental pillars. That is, there are four C's: culture, commerce, connectivity, and capacity building. As we know, that these countries, Southeast Asian countries, are so close to, particularly Northeast India, that the flight duration between Thailand and Guwahati, Bangkok and Guwahati, is 1.5 hours, but it takes more than 3 hours to travel to Bengaluru or Mumbai from Guwahati. Now, this renewed ties with Southeast Asia is very crucial in terms of India's role and position in the Indo-Pacific region as well as the international politics. My dear friends, the northeastern region, with its long international border, is surrounded by China, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Bhutan. A significant dimension of the renewed Act East policy is that it has brought huge opportunity of development for the northeastern region of India, as this region is geographically located as the connecting bridge between India and Southeast Asia. Therefore, establishing faster communication, connectivity, infrastructure, stability, and security of northeastern region to connect with the neighboring South Asian and Southeast Asian countries has become of prime importance. With developed connection and infrastructure, the northeastern region can facilitate increased intra-regional trade and cooperation through various regional platforms like ASEAN, BIMSTEC, etc. Moreover, the proximity of the northeastern region with China also gives it a considerable geopolitical and strategic significance for India's security and strategic relation in the region. My dear friends, this two-day event has been organized with focus upon COVID-19. And this outbreak of this COVID-19 pandemic has provided opportunities as well as challenges to India in terms of its relationship with Southeast Asia. It has given India the opportunity to develop a substantial and sustainable relationship by collaborating with ASEAN, BBN, and other Far Eastern countries through an effective implementation of Act East policy. India needs to have more effective outreach programs and greater socio-economic and diplomatic engagements with the Southeast Asian countries during this crisis period. Such a mutually beneficial approach will enable India to install a more solid and lasting cooperative relation, faith, goodwill, and credibility in the region. A joint COVID-19 collaboration with the ASEAN or BIMSTEC can bring a new vigor to India's Act East policy. Such an engagement on India's part will definitely have long-term imperatives. Therefore, this pandemic offers India an opportunity to broaden its social connectivity, extend people-to-people contact, intensify public diplomacy, and acquire greater legitimacy for future regional cooperation. My dear friends, I have very little to share with you. Our expert speakers are here, and we are very happy that the Honorable Minister, who holds the portfolio of Active Policy of the Government of Assam, Shri Chandra Mohan Patwari, is very much with us today. Once again, I express my gratitude and sense of thankfulness to Honorable Minister for his kind presence. He has joined us. And also, once again, I take the opportunity of welcoming the Honorable Minister and all the four distinguished speakers, Professor Mahanta, Dr. Fahim, Professor Amarjit Singh, and Mr. Sajjad Alam. And I also welcome all the participants for enthusiastically joining us. And I hope, I wish that this two-day deliberation in this program will be of good use for everybody concerned. With these words, I once again welcome you all to this platform. Over to Dr. Nonita.
Thank you so much for your enlightening and lucid speech, sir. Your wise words and your deliberation have given a different dimension to our program today. And sir, you have covered almost all the aspects, starting from the historical, the civilizational aspects of the linkages between India and the Southeast Asian countries. And apart from that, also the transformation of the Lucas policy as one of India's most significant foreign policy, from Lucas to the Active policy. And you have also included the strategic importance of the Northeastern region. And moreover, you have outlined the different opportunities that this pandemic has given in a positive way, although it is a very negative time that we all are going through. But even then, there's some positive aspects to this situation also, which we can find through this kind of deliberation. And thank you so much for outlining all these aspects and covering all these aspects, sir, in your speech. It was a very enlightening speech, and thank you so much, sir. And now I once again welcome our Honorable Minister of Active Policy Affairs, Mr. Chandra Mohan Patwari, sir. And I request him to please kindly address our audiences with his inaugural speech. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
In this webinar. So first of all, I'd like to extend my thanks to University for opening one center for Southeast Asian Studies. So this is really nice actually, and I'm really happy as Active Policy Affairs Minister that our university is going to open one Southeast Asian Study Center, and it is very much needed because you know, before I speak, I must highlight certain things which is very much needed actually. So number one, that without, as mentioned by Vice Chancellor, that our cultural relationship as well as our connectivity is very important with these Southeast Asian countries. So we must remember that before independence, so Assam, that was a greater Assam, of course, but Assam was the richest state, one of the richest states in the country. And our per capita income in the state was more than the national average, because our connectivity with Southeast Asian countries that time, it was very nice. And we had got access to Chittagong port, Mongla port, through which we were connected with the sea, and we were connected with the ocean, and because of which the Assam was in a position before independence that we were doing trading, commerce, industries, all activities with Southeast Asian countries through Mongla Chittagong port by connecting ocean to the world market. So that was the privilege actually was, and because of which we were the richest state in the country, and per capita income was also more than the national average actually. But for whatever the reason, from 1957, I suppose, this access to Chittagong port and Mongla port was stopped actually, and we were barred from this. So because of which, after independence, actually what you see, what we should get, or what actually we should make Assam a prosperous state. So we are deprived because we are not connected with the ocean, because of which we are not connected with the world trade, with the world market. Number one. Number two, connectivity is very much important for trade and commerce, or cultural affairs, or for cultural activity promotion also. Because in Assam, the connectivity was very poor. After our government came, actually our national highway we have made up to the mark, number one. Number two, doubling railway already started here in Assam. And number three, we are trying to establish the railway link with Bangladesh, where Mohisasan up to Mohisasan, actually there is a rail line actually from Assam. So it was actually destroyed by the Pakistani armies during Indo-Bangladesh war. So, and you'll be happy to know that in 1895 or in up to 1990, 1915, so there was a rail line. There was a rail line from Chittagong to Makum and Lamding also. So that connectivity was there by road also. Now we have Actis Policy Affairs. Now we have written one letter to MEA and MHA also, so that we can start our railway line with Bangladesh and the neighboring countries. Already Tripura, through Akhura, Tripura already they are going to start their railway link with the neighboring countries through Akhura. So we have also rail line up to Mohisasan rail station, Koimganj. So that way we are also trying to, reconnect with Southeast Asian by rail also. So that way, doubling railway in Assam, now we have started. So this is railway highway. And most important for trade and commerce is the waterways, because it is the cheapest transportation in the world. And today I'm happy that we organize Namami Brahmaputra, Namami Barak. So people actually criticize us that this government is going to celebrate these functions, Namami Brahmaputra, Namami Barak. Actually, it was not true. Namami Brahmaputra and Namami Barak, we have organized in a sense that before organizing the Global Investment Summit at Bandung Assam, so we wanted to give a message to the people of the world that we are also having, see what our route. We are also connected with the ocean actually. So actually that message we wanted to give to the world community, to the business community. And you'll be happy to know that because of our Prime Minister Modi's vision, this Actis Policy Affairs, which was mentioned by our Vice Chancellor, 1991 Lupis policy, it was transformed to Actis policy now. And as per Actis policy, Assam is the first state in the country. Our Chief Minister, Sri Sarvananda Sonowal, Honorable Chief Minister, so he set up one department called Actis Policy Affairs Department, and that was given to me also. And this Actis Policy Affairs Department now, since its inception, we are working with Southeast Asian countries. And because of Modi's effort, now Bangladesh government is giving, now they have given access to Chittagong and Mongla port for northeastern region states. That is a big news actually for us. And now actually because of the COVID it is not possible. One team headed by our Transport Commissioner Mr. Adil Khan was supposed to visit Bangladesh port, Mongla and Mongla and Chittagong port. So now we are getting access. We are connected with the ocean now. And because of that, after Nomami Borak and Nomami Brahmaputra, the Borak river is fully dredged now. Only this one part which belongs to Bangladesh of Borak river, and one part from Doikwa Dhubri to Bangladesh. So these two parts, one from Zakirganj of Borak river to Bangladesh, and one from Doikwa to Bangladesh of Brahmaputra. These two parts belongs to Brahmaputra and Borak. These two parts belong to Bangladesh. And already Government of India has given 250 crores to Bangladesh government to dredge that part also. So our part we are dredging. Brahmaputra dredging is going on, and Borak dredging is already over. By 5 dredger actually we have completed this dredging, and we are getting access to Chittagong port now. So railway, highways and waterways. And number 4 is the airways. So now already we have started India from Guwahati to Dhaka flight under international Udan. So this is under international Udan scheme. This is subsidy scheme, and we have already already we have given money also that we are going to have actually 6 flights for the 6 destinations of Southeast Asian countries. Already tender floated. Because of the COVID, it is not finalized. So 6 destinations from Guwahati, 6 destinations from Guwahati to 6 destinations of Southeast Asian, we are going to have flights. And the VGF, viability gap funding for those flights. Suppose viability gap funding in a sense, suppose one flight it goes to Kuala Lumpur. So if passengers actually, number of the passengers, if it is less than the flight, then this viability funding, gap funding, will be beared by 90% by Government of India and 10% by Government of Assam. And Government of Assam already given 100 crores to Civil Aviation Ministry, because we are dealing with Transport Department is dealing with all these things, and Actis Policy Affairs also dealing. So now already we have given 100 crores to Government of India for viability gap fund. So that way you see, because of the COVID, tender is not open, not finalized. Tender already floated, and many companies participate. It is under international Uran scheme, and that is only for Assam only, not for any other states of the country. So this is for Assam and northeastern region, that international Uran scheme. In the within national level, so this international Uran scheme, this Uran scheme is applicable, but international Uran scheme only for northeastern region states only, and mainly for Assam actually. So this is airways. So that way airways we have developed, and our Guwahati airport also, before our government came, so there are 50 flights operating from Guwahati airport. Now 125 flights were operating from Guwahati airport, and 60 lakhs passengers per year. Number 1. Number 2, Dibrugarh airport also we are expanding now. Transport Department has given money to Civil Aviation Department to expand this provision. Zorat airport also we are expanding, money already given. And Guwahati airport also, the second terminal coming up now, it is under construction, is going on now. and 1,243 crores sanctioned by Civil Aviation Ministry for the new terminal. And for the new terminal, for runways, already Transport Department, Government of Assam has given 190 crores to Civil Aviation Department for land acquisition. So now this terminal 2 in which is under construction in Guwahati Airport, and this will be one of the like T3 or like Calcutta Airport. This terminal will come up like this. Because of the COVID-19, it is difficult. And apart from that, actually just to export the cargo facilities, already we have done. Industry Department constructed one cargo warehouse. Now it is going to CM, Honorable CM after just flat. Honorable Singh will give time and he will inaugurate. Already we have constructed the cargo warehouse also. So this is, you see, this is airways. So highways, railways, waterways, and airways. And number 5th is the highways. So our internet service is very slow here because we have 2 gates. One is Chennai and one is Mumbai. So from that gate we are getting connection. So internet service is obviously very not up to the mark here. So we had discussed with Bangladesh government because under Active Policy Affairs for cultural exchange, we have organized one event at Hotel Taj with the help of India Foundation for cultural exchanges of Northeastern region and the Southeast Asian countries. Lots of the actually minimum 10 to 20 youths participated from each country of Southeast Asian countries. And that was a very nice cultural exchange program that is done with India Foundation by Active Policy Affairs. And apart from that, we have India Bangladesh meet also at Vision Blue Hotel. And in Vision Blue Hotel, India Bangladesh meet, actually we requested Bangladesh government to give us connection for IT, because there is a gate in Chittagong, IT gate. So from Chittagong, actually we requested to give through optical fiber. So for IT network, so we are requesting to give us access. So Bangladesh government agreed, and as a result of that, so through optical fiber we are bringing this IT connection from Chittagong to Tripura, and from Tripura we are bringing it by ADBCL, we are bringing it to Assam. Once it is reached Assam, then you see our distance, our connectivity also, IT connectivity also will be improved, our internet service will be improved. So this 5 formula: highways, waterways, railways, airways, and highways. And that was the main principle of connectivity. So that way we have developed our infrastructure as of today. Today we are not getting the results, but we are just making the infrastructure now, the whole infrastructure of connectivity as of today. So this is something actually people do not know, that this sort of things are happening here. But a day will come, our new generation will definitely get benefit out of this, number 1. And number 2, this is from the point of industry and commerce. So previously it was actually Assam was designated as the periphery of the country. We are the last part of the country. So that was actually we were designated the periphery of the country, last part. But today the whole definition under Active Policy, because of the Modi's vision, because of the vision of our Honorable Chief Minister, now this concept which was given which had been given long back, so this is now changed. And as a result of this, today Assam is not the periphery but the center of Southeast Asian countries. We are the gateways of Southeast Asian countries. So from the industry and commerce side, so just to bring back Assam before independence, we are rich. Our per capita income was above the national average. So our trade and commerce was very, you see, was very good. So that concept, our new generation will definitely will get the benefit out of this, because all infrastructure already have been done. And secondly, we are developing our regional airport also. Suppose Rupsi, there was an abandoned airport. So that is also being renovated by us. So it will also be inaugurated in a very short time. If by God grace this COVID ends, then we will start a flight from Rupsi airport also immediately. Likewise, Lidu airport, Second World War, it was constructed, now abandoned. So Lidu airport also we are innovating now as of today. Lakhimpur airport also we are developing now. In Lakhimpur airport, all the flights started. So that way you see, making Guwahati a hub. So all northeastern region states will be connected with Guwahati airport, and through which we will be able to these things. We will be able to connect with Southeast Asian countries and BBN countries. Because one thing we must understand, that a day will come, our domestic production of the country will surplus. So then this surplus market, surplus production, where we will see? Suppose in Gujarat, suppose in Maharashtra, suppose in Andhra Pradesh, suppose in Telangana, suppose in Haryana. So a day will come that our domestic production will come to surplus. So this surplus product we can't sell in European market, because European market population is very low, because our UP 22 crores population. So it is equal to the 10 European countries population, minimum 10 to 15 European countries population. So our domestic products, for obvious reason, we are not in a position to sell in European market. So ultimately for trade and commerce, so there is only one market, virgin market, that is ASEAN and BBN. And this is 80 million people, customers, market. And in this market, a day will come that all national industries, right from Mumbai, right from Ahmedabad, they have to come here. And because today we are the gateway of Southeast Asian countries, and this is the most virgin market for industry and commerce. So that's why Assam is the best destination for investment as on today. And that's why, you know, already we have started here skill manpower also, skill department also. I am in ministry is given to me also. And under skill development department, now we have signed MOU with Singapore government, and Singapore ITES one center is there. So we are collaborating with Singapore government, and as a result of that, now our resource persons are being trained at Singapore, because Singapore is best in skill development as of today. And now Singapore people also coming to us, and our people also goes to Singapore. So we have established a very good link. So we are upgrading our skill now. We have decided just to upgrading our skill. So we are going to have one university, skill university at Mangalore. Already land we have taken. So foundation stone will be laid immediately, and already around 1,000 crore given by ASEAN Development Bank to Government of Assam, skill development. So the skill university, we are just going to have their multidisciplinary schools will be there in that university, and skill university. So already we have decided and we have discussed, and it is final that Nanyang Polytechnic of IT, Nanyang Polytechnic of Singapore. So I'd like to request all the dignitaries present here, if someday, if you go to Singapore, please visit Nanyang Polytechnic. One polytechnic, up to what extent one polytechnic can go in research, in R&D, or in innovation. So my request to all of you, if somebody visited, it's good. If not visited, if sometimes you go to Singapore, please visit Nanyang Polytechnic. It's a really ideal institution and ITES. So already we have signed MOU with them also. So our skill university to be set up at Mongoloi, we have decided to work with Nanyang Polytechnic and ITES. So our Honorable Chief Minister, because of the flood, we are not in a position to meet, but he will lay the foundation stone and immediately our construction will be open. Construction will be started. So this university also give a boost to the young generation of Northeastern region. And for that university already we have taken permission from MEA, Ministry of External Affairs, MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India, and Employment and other related departments, so that anybody passed out from that university, he will have an access to work in international companies. So already that accreditation will get it. So this is, we are upgrading our skill also with Southeast Asian countries. So this is one important thing. Secondly, you know, by road, Government of India already constructed one trilateral highway, which was, you see, which was trilateral highway go to up to Cambodia, Vietnam, all Southeast Asian countries. So road is completed up to Thailand. It is already completed. It is actually the road entering from Tamu, from More of Manipur. More is India part, Manipur, and Tamu is Myanmar part. So it is going via Tamu More. More is India part, Manipur, and Tamu is Myanmar part. And this is 6-lane highway. The highway is completed up to Thailand. Only small 3 bridges because of the contractors dispute. It is not cleared, but already it is settled, and now construction started. Very small bridges, and after completing these 3 bridges, this trans highway, trilateral highway, will connect Southeast Asia with Northeastern region. So this highway, because this highway I have not read or I have not heard from anyone. I personally visited as Active Policy Affairs Minister on this highway. I travel on this highway from Myanmar to Yangon, from Mandalay to Yangon. I have personally visited. I have seen the 6-lane highway is completed. Apart from that, there is a port called Sidway Port. This is also constructed by Government of India in Myanmar. So that port is also completed. I have seen it. And that port will connect Mizoram directly, Mizoram, Myanmar. And ultimately Northeastern region, Assam, including Assam, that port will connect actually. So that way you see the infrastructure in this regard already we have developed. And this connectivity, which was mentioned at the beginning by the respected Vice Chancellor Deepak Sharma, that connectivity is most important really. And this connectivity we have done this connectivity. So that's missing link actually. From 1951 rail line from Chittagong to Makung, then another rail line another rail line in 1895. So there another rail line. So that missing link also we are trying to develop actually. And apart from that, to make good gesture. So I personally, as Active Policy Affairs Minister, along with a team of my colleague MLAs and senior officials, I personally visited on road, by road, Bangladesh also, and Myanmar also. So that experience I had about this trilateral highway. So I share with you the trilateral highway is completed up Thailand. So I hope that today you are not getting everything. You are not getting, suppose, you're up to your expectation. But the infrastructure we have already completed. Our new generation get all this infrastructure, all these benefits in the near future. And that is the achievement of this government. That is one of the big achievements of this government. And I'm happy that Education Department also, I had a discussion long back with Education Minister, Honorable Education Minister. So they have also started at Guwahati University one center, South is headed by Professor Dr. Nunigopal Mohanto. So he has also got extensive studies about this. And today I'm very happy that Kumar Bhaskar Burma University, under the leadership of Sri Dr. Deepak Kumar Sharma, so we are going to have one Center for Southeast Asian Studies, which will give some basic things which we are required from that center. We are expecting actually. And you know, in Western countries, what happens? Most of the Western and developed countries generally, the policies are being given by the universities in the developed countries. So now, if universities are coming up to help government by providing, policies, in active policy, what we should do, in trade and commerce, what we should do, if you are extending policies from the university side. So I hope that it will be a comfortable position, win-win position for government of Assam and government of Assam and universities also. And you will have also income out of that. So that is what we need, because in San Francisco, in the Stanford University, so this is one of the best universities of the world. So within their campus, so this WhatsApp office also there, Facebook office also there, iPhone office also there. So what not actually, everything is there, and they are getting income also out of that, and they are giving policy to the government also. And I have visited personally, I have seen this in San Francisco University's campus, and in fact I stayed also 3 days in San Francisco. That way, universities are giving this sort of policies, and they are generating income also to sustain universities in different aspects. So this is a good news for all of us, that you are going to have one institute. All the best from my side, and whatever help you require from government side, definitely we are ready to help. And apart from that, I'd like to request one thing. So I requested previously also to our Honorable Minister Education that some language actually we should introduce in Southeast Asia, under Southeast Asian centers. Suppose in Japan has got money, and Japan has got many employment of many vacancies, but Japan doesn't have people to work, and they have money, lots of money to invest. So that way I have discussed with many Japanese companies. Sorry. So they requested me that at least your boys and girls, you just let them learn some Japanese language, and give us those boys and girls to us, and we will appoint them with a good salary, whatever the number. So Japan companies, many times I have discussed with Japan companies. So in the skill development department from this year, actually we have introduced Japanese language course also. So I request Professor Nonigopal Mohanto also, and Deepak Sharma also, Dr. Deepak Sharma also, if you kindly see that if Japanese language course, if you can introduce in your university, then I hope our new generation boys and girls will get opportunities to work in Japanese companies across the globe actually. This is one scope. So we have already started Japanese language course here in ACE, the Assam Skill Development Mission. So this is also one important. So language is also a skill issue now. So that way I have discussed with Japanese company also time to time. In fact, Last 3 years, I have been trying to set up one Jetro city here, Japanese cities in Nagorvera. Already 1800 acres of land we have ready for Jetro cities. And 3 years I have been marathon work I have been doing with Jetro. Jetro is a Japan external trade organization. This is a government company and 150 company under them are there. So if Jetro will come, so they will make a city and industry, water, everything they will make there. They will not set up industry like a scattered manner actually. So that way, I'm trying my level best, and we expected that during the meeting of two prime ministers, actually it was supposed to happen, but unfortunately, because of whatever reason, it couldn't happen because two prime ministers could not meet here in Assam for, for what is the reason. So otherwise, that time we expected that Zetro city will be declared here, because last 3 years actually I am pursuing this Zetro cities here in Assam. Because if Zetro will come, then 150 company will come here, and ultimately minimum 2-3 lakhs boys directly or indirectly 4-5-6 lakhs 8 lakhs people will be actually employed indirectly, and directly minimum 2 lakhs people are getting job actually. But still we are keeping that land at Nagorvera, 1800 acres of land. So it was supposed to be happen, but it not happened unfortunately because these two prime ministers could not meet because of the situation that time. Anyway, we are expecting. I am in touch with Jetro also. Even during lockdown period also, I have discussed with Jetro like this webinar, and I have discussed with Singapore companies also. I have discussed with American companies also. I have discussed some with companies set up in China, and they are bringing industries from China to India. So I offered Assam also as destination. So in webinar, so we are talking with those countries actually now, and in between we have got many meetings with India, Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, and we are going to have one conclave actually because of the COVID we could not do. It was almost completed India, Korea, but already I have done in webinar actually. Through webinar I have done the meeting during COVID lockdown time. But we are supposed to organize one meeting with Korea, India, Korea, meet here. So that way Southeast Asian, we are connected nicely today, as on today. We are connected with Southeast Asian countries and DBAN countries. So I hope this center will definitely give a boosting for developing the relationship with Southeast Asian countries, with India, with Northeastern region. So wishing you all the best. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Honorable Minister, Mr. Chandramohan Patwari, sir, for giving us such a informative, clear, lucid, and elaborate speech. I can't thank enough that you have given us so much of your time and given us such a wonderful and brilliant speech. And it is very interesting to know the different perspective from the angle of government of Assam and government of India. And you have covered various aspects of the Act East policy, starting from the importance of connectivity, developing railways, airways, infrastructure, and then industry, the importance of the potential markets that are in the Southeast Asian countries for India as well as the northeastern part, including Assam. So I'm sure that today's participants who have joined us from different parts of the country and maybe from outside also, and from different institutions. The students, the scholars, the academicians have benefited in a huge way by listening to your speech, sir. And with such a far-sighted vision and vision by the government of India and northeastern region will, I'm sure that will give a very substantial development to the northeastern region, including Assam. So, and moreover, we highly value your suggestion for our university to initiate a maybe course on different languages of different Southeast Asian languages. For example, like you said, the Japanese language. So we highly value this suggestion, and this is a very relevant suggestion that you have given us, sir. And thank you so much again for this brilliant and excellent speech that you have delivered.
Can I add one more point? Actually, I left one point.
Sure, sir. Sure, sure, sir.
Actually, for Southeast Asian region, the trade, commerce, and cultural, already I have covered all points. Not all points. I have just outlined the points. Actually, apart from that, actually, I forgot to tell you that just to improve the trade and commerce of Southeast Asian countries. So we are going to have one multi-model logistic park, international multi-model logistic park at Jogighopa, and it cost 1,000 crore as of the initial cost. Already 630 crores already released by Government of India, and that will be done by industry department, and you'll be happy to know, all the participants, that this international multi-model logistic hub, which we are proposing here, Honorable Chief Minister, because of the flood we are not doing right now. So once the flood recedes, so we are doing foundation stone and work will start. So around 630 crores they have sanctioned, and the total cost of the project is 3,000 crore. So this is the first, you'll be happy to know, this is the first international multi-model logistic park in the country. This is the first, and already 3,000 crores earmarked for this, 630 crores already released. And in that, you see, in Jogighopa, in that park, so rail line will be there, rail connectivity, national highway also will be there inside, and there will be a big port. Actually, the port also will be connected, and there will be air cargo. You see, air cargo facilities also will be there. So it will be loaded there and will be transported to Guwahati Airport, and then it will be sent abroad. So this is one of the important things which will connect, this port will connect Southeast Asian countries. So this is one point I forget to tell you, actually, just now I remember. So thank you for much giving this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, again, for adding this point, which is very important. And in your speech, like you have said, that various projects by the government of India is going on in places like Jogighopa, places like Nagarbera. So this is a very significant development that has been taking place because if this kinds of projects comes in this kind of outskirt places, then I'm sure that this will lead to a very significant development of the rural areas, which are actually struggling with the problems of unemployment or underdevelopment. So this is a very good initiative by the government of India, and we are glad that you have shared this information with us today. And I'm sure that with this kind of far-sighted vision by the government of India under this Axis policy will certainly lead, like you said, that the pre-independence Assam, which was a richest, one of the richest states in India, and which was later considered as in the periphery. So now, which under this government initiative and under the active policy, I'm sure that Assam will regain that center stage which was there in the post pre-independence period, and this will lead not only Assam but the entire region and the entire country to the path of significant development. So thank you so much, sir, for your deliberation, and thank you for gracing our program today. We are highly honored that you came, participated in our program, and we look forward for many other such occasions that we'll have you with us. Thank you, sir. Dear participants, we have come to the end of the inaugural session, and today we have our distinguished guest, Professor Nanikapal Mohanto sir, Director of Center for Southeast Asian Studies, Guwahati University. And now I request Professor Nanikapal Mohanto sir to deliver his speech. Thank you.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all of you, Honorable Vice Chancellor and Honorable Minister, Sri Chandra Mohan Patwari, and dear esteemed participants. Well, first of all, a sense of gratitude to all the organizers for having given me this opportunity to speak a few words. And a lot of issues have already been highlighted by the Vice Chancellor and also by our Honorable Minister Chandra Mohan Patwari. I believe this is one of the most extensive, speech, and he has almost highlighted all the areas, particularly the works that their activities which are undergoing, and the kind of plans that Government of Assam and Government of India they are undertaking in the days to come. So, congratulations to the Minister for having envisaged such a detailed plan, and I believe in the days to come we'll be in a position to fructify the various facets of active policy. Well, I do not want to take much time in 15 minutes, about 15 to 20 minutes, because we have many speakers already in the queue. So what I propose to do is to, how Northeast is connected to the region and what are the challenges, and already the activities have been already highlighted. But my point is that Northeast is said to be the anthropologist's delight and the policymaker's nightmare. When you come from New Delhi to Northeast India, Assam is the last point where India looks less and less India and more Southeast Asia. Because I repeat, Assam is the last point where India looks less and less India and more Southeast Asia. Why? Because this region is the epicenter for about more than 270 ethnic groups and more than 175 languages. So this region is the melange of various ethnic groups, various social groups, and most of these ethnic groups are having their linkages with the South and Southeast Asian countries, particularly with Myanmar, particularly with the southern part of China. And also we have, if you visit those countries, you will find that practically there are no differences with the lifestyle, with the rituals, with the behavior, with the cultural idioms of Southeast Asia. There are so many similarities. So I urge all the Northeastern, our participants, to visit those areas and to acquaint ourselves with the kind of similarities that we have between Northeast Indian, our ethnic groups, and our counterparts from Southeast Asia. Now, if I may look at some of the historical points, Northeast, as already told by the minister as well as also by the Vice Chancellor, that we have had very historical linkages, particularly almost all the tribes they were traditionally organically linked with the neighboring people. For example, the Bodos have migrated from the Sino-Tibetan border, and those Bodos people and other hill tribes, they had lot of trading points about with the Tibetans and the Chinese people. So several trade routes were existed in the form of doors. If those who are aware about the fact that we had more than about 14 doors through which various trade practices, various exchange of goods took place through these trade and commercial points. And the Britishers also recognized those traditional routes which were undertaken by our tribal people. Patkai range was the melange, Patkai range through which Sukapha came to Assam, and he used to call Assam Mungdung Sunkham, which is the golden land of the art. So it is to Patkai range that all these people used to come. And during 19th century, Britishers also tried to connect with the Western China. And that is how the Britishers in 19th century, they had an agreement in 1844 with Sat Rajas, with 7 kings of those areas, particularly in the Bhutia areas. And that agreement was signed on 1844, 5th February, with the Sat Rajas, means 7 kings. And that agreement and the trade route is known as Udalguri, Tawang, Lhasa trade route. And this was the Udalguri, Lhasa trade route through which the tribal people, the Assamese people, used to connect to Tibet, used to connect to Lhasa, the capital, and then they extended their relationship with China. So the point that I'm trying to say is that our relationship with Southeast Asia didn't begin with Lucas policy, didn't begin with Actis policy. We have had very organic, very inseparable relations. All those people who live here in Assam, Lisu, Taifake, Turung, Aiton, all these tribes, more than 270 tribes, have had their origin in those Southeast Asian countries. And our tribal people used to connect with those doors. With those doors, we had traditional trade practices going up to Lhasa, going up to China. And most important issue is that the Britishers recognized those traditional trade routes, and the act was known as 1844, and the trade pact was signed on 5th February 1844. So that gives us an idea how this region was connected with the whole region. And already Honorable Minister has said that we had connection with Chittagong port, with Mongla, and particularly I would argue Northeast India, then Assam, was the most globalized region of India. If you look at it is maybe Kashmir, but more than Kashmir, Assam was the first globalized zone of India, because it is after the introduction of tea in 1835. For the first time, tea was exported in 1838 through this, the route which our Honorable Minister was talking about. We had, the Chittagong port through which our trade resources were exported to the world market. Then oil refinery was, it was found out in 1898, and 1901 we started sending our oil resources to the world market. And that is why I would like to tell all my esteemed participants that we had a very organic, we had a very historical, we had a very civilizational axis, linkages with those South and Southeast Asian countries. Now what had happened was, this region, this Northeast India, is a meeting point of 3 geographical areas. One is South Asia, one is Southeast Asia, the third is Himalayan region. So this Northeast India is surrounded by 3 geostrategic locations. One is Himalayan nations, one is Southeast Asian nation, one is the South Asian nation. For example, as a part of Actis policy, Bangladesh is also taken as a part of Act East policy, which was already stated by Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that Bangladesh also constitutes an important component of Act East policy, because if we do not take Bangladesh, then Meghalaya cannot have, outside trade and commerces with the outside world. So therefore, Nepal is a Himalayan country, Bhutan is a Himalayan country, then China, then Southeast Asia. So this is a very interesting melting point. Northeast India is a very interesting geostrategically located zone that we need to utilize the resources, utilize the connectivity that the nature has bestowed us. But after independence, we became land linked, from land linked to landlocked, thanks to the very unimaginative policies pursued by the then political dispensation, that this vibrant commercial zone was all of a sudden made one landlocked zone, as a result of which, because of our loss of connectivity with Pakistan, the then East Bengal, or with the neighboring neighbors, what had happened was we became landlocked. We didn't have any kind of connectivity. The traditional trade routes that we had through Chittagong, Mongla port, all these came to an end, as a result of which Northeast India had seen so many insurgencies, so many unemployment. As Honorable Minister was telling, the Northeast India was one of the most developed, one of the most developed region in terms of our gross domestic product, in terms of our income. We had a better income, I think third or fourth position at all India level. So these kind of connectivity all of a sudden disrupted because of our independence, and because of lack of vision, I would say, on the part of that political dispensation, that Northeast India could not connect to our neighboring countries. But as a result, what we see today, Northeast India is hub of India's foreign policy. This thing we must understand, that as a result of this kind of transformation, as a result of this kind of attitudinal change with the launching of Act East policy, Northeast has become the hub of our foreign policy. With the closing down of Western options, like SAARC is now going down. SAARC is going down. Our connectivity with the other part through the Western sector is declining, as a result of which the Eastern portion is getting open. Some of the initiatives are BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC is a Bay of Bengal initiative for multi-sectoral technological economic cooperation, which is a very important initiative. Bay of Bengal initiative, then Mekong Ganga initiative, BCIM, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar initiative. So these are then BBIN, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal transport, connectivity. So these are some of the sub-regional initiatives which are going on as a result of, as a byproduct of Act East policy. And now the Northeast India has become the hub of India's foreign policy. And now a major responsibility lies with our political masters, our political leaders, how to take forward this opportunity in the days to come. And as the vision was already outlined, I believe we have a very positive ways to look at. Now, I would like to argue that this is the fourth phase of Look East policy. This is not the first phase of Look East policy. The first phase of Look East policy began in 12th century. That was the civilizational linkages in 12th and 13th century, particularly with the Cholas, with the Palas, Pallavas. They used to take our Buddhism, our Hinduism, already highlighted by Honorable Vice Chancellor. And I would argue that even if you look at Southeast Asia today, it is an extension of India. Garudra, Parvati, Ram, Sita, Ganesha, Garuda is the national emblem, And if you land at Thailand airport, Suvarnabhumi airport, you will find all the Hindu gods and goddesses there.
And most important issue, the largest Hindu temple of the world is not in India. The largest Hindu temple is Angkor Wat, that is the Hindu Vishnu temple. The Vishnu temple, Angkor Wat, is the largest Hindu temple in the world. Then Luang Prabang, then many Barbadur, the Buddhist temple. These are some of the civilizational linkages that we developed in 12th century. So that is the first phase of Lucas policy. The second phase began in the colonial period, when the Britishers was stationed in Southeast Asia, and they tried to reach to China by having their connectivity in Southeast Asia, through which they wanted to link up the whole region. That is the second phase. The third phase was the Bandung Phase. The Bandung Phase means when the NAM, non-aligned movement, in 1955, we tried to create an Asian solidarity in Bandung. That was the place in Southeast Asia through which Nehru and other political leaders were trying to create an Asian solidarity as a result of NAM, non-aligned movement. But this solidarity did not last long because of various practices of Cold War politics. That is the third phase. The fourth phase started with Narasimha Rao, that is the Lucas policy. That is the fourth phase. But the most proactive phase, that is the fifth phase, the most proactive phase of Lucas policy began in 2014 with the launching of Actis policy. And that is how we have seen the real execution of our connectivity with the neighboring countries. Already, Honorable Minister talked about highways, he talked about railways, he talked about riverways and other parameters also. The point that I'm trying to say for the benefit of our participants, I do not look Lucas or Actis policy only as an economic extension. Actis policy is also a part of India's security strategy. We must remember that Actis policy is not just an economic cultural activity. It is not just trade activity. It is also launching a new security paradigm for India, because with the launching of One Belt, One Road by China, and China, the way China is trying to engulf the whole world, China is trying with CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. They're going up to Gwadar port. They're going up to Middle East now. So the way China is trying to circle us, we are trying to counter circle China by going towards East. So my argument is that Lucas policy, Actis policy is not necessarily purely an economic activity. It is also to do with India's growing security strategic importance with Southeast Asian countries like Myanmar, Bangladesh, with other countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia. So a new kind of discourse is emerging, particularly in South China Sea. If you look at South China Sea, Malacca Strait, 7-dash line, you will see that China is trying to flex its muscles. China is trying to increase its domination over Filipino Sea, over Vietnam, over the Brunei. Now, at this point of time, America is also coming up there, and India, in collaboration with America, is trying to assert its position in South China Sea. So my point is that Actis policy is not necessarily just only economic activities. It's also about the security dimension, the new foreign policy dimension, taking Northeast as a hub, as an epicenter. Now, the main activity already, Honorable Minister has talked about our plans and programs, but the most, transformative activity, I would say, is the Myanmar, Thailand, India Trilateral highway. That highway, when it comes to the, I think by 2021, 2022, those highways will be becoming operational. And I asked that this India-Myanmar-Thailand Trilateral highway
will be a game changer for Northeast India, because at one go we shall be able to go from Northeast India through Myanmar up to Thailand, and correspondingly to the other parts like Hong Kong, Singapore, so on and so forth. So, Administrator, I have already given the map to Nandita. Nandita, can you show the map, please? The map of Myanmar India Trilateral Highway. And the second game changer, I believe, is the Kaladan multimodal. This is the Kaladan multimodal project, whereby the Situate port we have seen. If you can see it in the in my slide, that from Situate it will connect to Calcutta. Now the distance between Calcutta and Situate port is a long door. It's about more than 2,000 kilometers. Now, as a result of this Kaladan multimodal project, the distance will be reduced from Situate to Kolkata, then Situate to Paletua, Paletua to Juripuri in Mizoram, then Juripuri to Aichal, that is National Highway 54. If you look around, Situate port is located in Bangladesh. From Situate, this will connect to Mizoram and ultimately to to Northeast India. So this road, construction is going on little bit. There is sea transportation, river transportation, road transportation. That is how this Kaladan multimodal transit corridor will connect not only Northeast India, but also through sea, it will connect to Calcutta port. From Situate port to Calcutta port is only 539 kilometers. Now you have to go to Mizoram, you have to go to Northeast, then you go to Calcutta. But this sea route will drastically reduce our transportation to a significant extent. And also, our connection from Mizoram to Calcutta, it takes about 7 days. Now, as a result of this Kaladan multimodal project, this will take only 2 to 3 days because of the sea route. So this kind of connectivity, Kaladan multimodal project, as well as, I would argue, the Asian highway will change the entire picture of Northeast India in the days to come. But at the same time, already the projects have been highlighted by Honorable Minister. I also request the Administrator to show the other maps. Can you please show the other maps also? There was another 2 or 3 maps for the benefit of our participants, if you can kindly show it. Yeah, this map shows, this is the highway, the highway connecting Thailand to Murray. This is one of the most ambitious plan of active policy, and this is likely to be completed by 2021. Maybe more, 1 year more you can add to it. So once connected, this will enable our producers, this will enable our exporters, importers to have exchange of goods with the Southeast Asian nation. Now here I have a point to make. I would like to urge the Honorable Minister that we have to focus on the human resources component. Why human resources component? Because whether it is in Chandra Mohan Patroi's regime or in the days to come, these roads, these connectivities, these transport corridors are going to be a big reality. But what is important is that we need adequate human resources. We need proper infrastructure so that we are in a position to compete with. Otherwise, the way now we are becoming to a great extent bystanders. Many critics believe that if our human resources, our educational institutes do not properly prepare our human resources, then a day might come that we may not be able to compete with the competing world. So I believe now various educational institutes are trying to create our value system. We are trying to enhance our supply system, and in the days to come, I believe this will enhance our relationship
in a qualitative manner. It is not just quantity. It is not just projects. You know, one worrying point is that I mean, how far Northeast India is the beneficiary of Act East policy? Because what I'm telling is this policy already started in 1991-92. Okay, after 2014 become Act policy, but till now, I do not know about future. Yes, in future we will be beneficiary. We will benefit from the system, but till now we have not benefited much. It is the Petrapol, trade point which is benefiting more. I can give you statistics that our market, our trade with the neighboring countries, the share of Northeast India is just 1 to 2%. I have my statistics I can give you. If you look at our trade of India's trade with the neighboring countries, our Northeast India's share is only 1 to 2%, maximum 1%. 2017, Northeast India's share was only 1.5%. So far, Calcutta is becoming the beneficiary. The Petrapol is becoming the beneficiary of Act East policy. We need to not only enhance those mega infrastructural projects, we also need to enhance our traditional community to community transaction point. That is what I would like to urge our honorable minister and also to the policymakers, is the fact that many traditional trading points like Jakhwatar, Behiam, like in Arunachal we have our relation with traditional trade route points. Those need to be effectively made operational so that community also benefit from this kind of Act East policy. So far, Sushma Swaraj has talked about 3 C's: commerce, connectivity, and culture. But here I have written a paper. I would like to include the 4th C, that is the community, because we must remember Act East policy is not the beginning in 2014. We had organic relation with Southeast Asia. We had historical relation with Southeast Asia. So we must look into the protection. We must protect our community interests, the border communities. If you look at the More border, if you look at the Taifake people, if you look at the border point in Nagaland, those people are having already trade relationship with the neighboring tribes. In fact, in Manipur, More border, the tribal people have stopped Indian government from constructing the border. Why? Because they believe that it will disrupt their traditional trading, family, cultural, historical relations with the tribal. So my point is that along with connectivity, along with culture, along with commerce, community is the 4th C that we must try to propagate. Because if you look at those border areas, the communities' resources, community access with border, communities along the border or across our international sector is not properly happening. In fact, we cannot fence border because of some of the opposition given by our local tribal people. So what I'm trying to say is that it is a very positive development for Northeast India. India's Act East policy is a positive development. Number 1, it reconnects our region with Southeast Asia. Number 2, Northeast is becoming the hub of economic activity. Number 3, it is becoming hub of India's foreign policy. Number 4, the communities who are traditionally maintaining those linkages, their protection, their interests need to be protected very clearly. I do not want to drag on and on. We have many speakers. So with these words, I again thank all the organizers for having given me this opportunity to speak these few words. With these words, I conclude. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Nonigopal Mohanto sir, for deliberating in such a thought-provoking and engrossing and elaborate speech on the basically focusing on the importance of northeastern region in the Act East policy. Like the title of your topic also says, locating Northeast in the Act East. So you have discussed about the various phases of Look East policy, starting from the periods of various dynasties, ancient dynasties like the Palas, the Pallavas, and the religion spread of religion like Hinduism and Buddhism in 12th century. From starting from that in the colonial period, then the period of Nam in the immediate post-independence period, and in 1991, finally, the Look East policy, which was started by the then Congress government under the prime ministership of P.V. Narasimha Rao. And finally, in 2014, the beginning of the Act East policy under the prime ministership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So you have also highlighted that the Act East policy is not only about economy, it is not only about trade and commerce, but it is about also about the security angle, especially keeping in mind the aggressive policies that China is implementing in the most of the Southeast Asian countries. So the Act East policy also gives a very important aspect in India's position or India's role in the Indo-Pacific region or South China Sea as well. So thank you so much, sir. I'm sure that all our participants have benefited hugely from your deliberation today. And now with your permission, sir, I request Professor Jyotiras Pathak from Bodoland University to give an observation on the deliberation that was made by Professor Nonigopal Mohanto, sir. Over to you, sir, Professor Jyotiras Pathak, sir, from Bodoland University.
Thank you, Dr. Nandita Khaklari, for giving me the opportunity. And till morning, I was there and I was just listening to Honorable Vice Chancellor, then Honorable Minister of Commerce, Chandra Mohan Patwari sir, and latest Professor Nonigopal Mohanto. So Professor Nonigopal Mohanto, he has just continued the previous lecture in the line that where Honorable PC sir talks about the historical linkage of India or say Northeast India to that very Southeast Asian countries. Then Honorable Minister about the various aspects of what the government of India in general and government of Assam in particular they are doing with this policy implementation of Act East policy. And then Professor Nonigopal Mohanto sir, he initiated his lecture with the very historical linkages of Northeast India with the region called Southeast Asia, where the term Northeast India is as less Indian and more of a having more connectivity towards the Southeast Asian region. We have historical linkages with those countries. Even we have lots of similarities regarding the lifestyle, behavior with those countries. In fact, we have 14 duars. He mentioned about the traditional trade point, trade routes. There are 14 duars from which we had traditional trade and commerce relationship with those countries. Even Britishers also they started, they just continue with the policy of the trade connectivity with those region. Even he mentioned about that very old one, Udalguri Lhasa Tawang trade route. Now it's almost not there, but he mentioned about that, the very old one, Udalguri Lhasa Tawang trade route. In fact, what Professor Mohanto has mentioned, that we have organic relationship, the tribal have organic relationship with the tribal communities have this relationship with those almost all the South Asian countries. So even today also, that means just before the independence, Assam, for that matter, or Northeast India was the most globalized zone of India, because we transported oil, we transported tea, and even since we have that civilizational linkages. So in that period before independence, the whole North India was most globalized zone, as Professor Mohanto sir has mentioned. Perhaps it was the meeting point. He talks about 3 meeting points. The meeting points are South Asia, Southeast Asia, along with Himalayan region. So it's a new issues that he has highlighted, that Northeast India is the meeting point of these 3 very great civilization, to say. Even the new government, we took with this Act East policy, we took a note of the issue of Bangladesh also, because without Bangladesh, the region called Meghalaya, they just cannot go into, they cannot go beyond. So we have to take the issues of Bangladesh also. So, and today it has become a geostrategic, the whole area has become geostrategic importance, having geostrategic importance, because after independence, unfortunately, the whole region become landlocked zone. So there is a need that we must think more about this Act East policy. So because if we have lost the connection of those traditional linkages, that may lead, and actually that happened, that lead to lots of issues of insurgency also. So but in before independence or just after independence, Assam as a whole, we had better income, better GDP, if you compare with the rest of the countries of India. But because of lack of vision on the part of the policymakers during those period, just after independence, we lost, the whole North India has lost its relevance, importance in the policy making process of India, in the foreign policy making process, exercise. But today the Northeast India has become the hub, as Professor Montos here explained, it has become the hub of Indian foreign policy dispensation. And with this launching of this Act East policy today, it is just highlighting the foreign policy issues in a more proactive way. And since the other developments like the SARC is going down, as Sir has mentioned, and in place of SARC, we have some new issues like the issues of BIMSTEC, BBIN, Mekong Ganga initiative. So these new areas, the government of India, they are just investing in those new areas, new institutions in place of SARC. So definitely, as Sir mentioned, there is a major responsibility to be played by the politicians, by the policymakers. Then again, Monto sir has mentioned about 5 phases of Act East policy. Already there are 4 phases. The first phase, as Sir mentioned, is started with the 12th century, 12th and 13th century, when we have that civilizational linkages with these South Asian countries, especially in the form of Hinduism and Buddhism. The next phase was started with the advancement of these Britishers, when they tried to have some sort of linkage with those countries. The third phase, he mentioned about this NAM movement, non-aligned movement, from the period 1950s, when we have that Bandung Phase. He mentioned about that phase, third phase, and fourth phase was started with this Narasimha Rao regime during 1990s. But he added about this 5th phase, and which is most important for him, and that is the real execution of this Look East policy into Act East policy, where even our honorable minister also talked about this 5-way of connectivity: railways, highways, air connectivity, and riverways, and lastly this internet connectivity. And definitely today the whole Northeast India, as Mohanto sir explained, it has more to work about security strategy than less about this very issue of trade and commerce, because he highlighted the issue of China vector. China recently they launched the One Belt One Road initiative. Then again, China-Pakistan economic corridor also. In that way, China is just circling us. So just to counter China and just to recircle them, definitely government of India have to work more about Act East policy, and the new discourse again also about that South China Sea. We have lots of importance about with this Act East policy, and definitely Act East policy is the new foreign policy dimension of government of India. Then Mohan Prasad again talks about some of the recent activities about this Act East policy, and some of these are already mentioned by Honorable Industry Minister also, and particularly Mohan Prasad explained about the Trilateral Highway, India, Thailand, Myanmar Trilateral Highway, how it will reduce the distance and it saves times also. Then he talked about that Kaladan multimodal projects, which are, I think, as he mentioned, within 1 or 2 years, we are going to finish the whole projects. Then again, he mentioned about that ASEAN Highway, the very ambitious project by which we can directly connect India, that means More to Bangkok, Thailand. So, but the other issues, what he highlighted, that yes, definitely there are other issues to be more spectacle about that, and one is that definitely this human resource, the human resource component he highlighted, then whether we have enough facilities in the form of a institute of higher educations, whether we can produce enough human resources to meet the challenges of this Act East policy. And till now, because in case of Northeast India, we have less than just 1% of trade linkages with these Southeast Asian countries. So definitely these issues are a matter of concern. And but as of now, it is Calcutta only who is getting almost all the benefits of having that trade linkages with these Southeast Asian countries. So it's time that we have to think more about some other alternatives. And here Mohan Prasad mentioned about that Zogathar, that Zogathar trade point, which is very much traditional, the More trade point. And again, he quoted our former Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj when she talked about 3 C's. So community, commerce, and culture. And here Mohan Prasad added another C, that is community. Community to community relationship, and which these are very much traditional. Traditionally, for long back, we are having that traditional connection, and definitely it's time that the government must think more about that. And the positive side, at the end, Mohan Prasad talked about the positive side of the Act East policy in the form of that, yes, we have now reconnect, the whole Northeast India is reconnecting to the Southeast Asian region. The Northeast India has become the hub of foreign policy, or for that matter, trade and commerce also. And lastly, about the positive aspects of tribal community, where we can have more connectivity across borders. So so these are some of the issues, pertinent issues raised by Professor Nonigopal Mohan Prasad, and I thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity to explain some of the issues as raised by Professor Mohan Prasad. Thank you.
I have a question to. Okay, hello. Can I request Honorable Minister one thing? Hello. I would like to make a request to our Honorable Minister.
Yes, I'm hearing.
Yeah, you know, in 2000, Ganga Mekong, that initiative was launched. So, but that bypasses Northeast India. Now, actually, you know, we are trying, you know, through our Southeast Asia Center in Guwahati University, we are trying to have students from Laos. Already one semester, students have already, you know, completed their course in Guwahati University. Then another batch also came from Thailand, you know, particularly from Thammasat University. I think we have representatives from Thammasat University. What I'm trying to say is that we should, you know, come up with a conceptual framework, that is, you know, Brahmaputra Mekong initiative. Okay, other than Ganga Mekong initiative, what is Brahmaputra Mekong initiative? that would involve trade, commerce, people-to-people contact, education. So, I mean, can we name a project, sir? That is what I can talk to him at the individual level also. Otherwise, he is very well known to me. My proposal is that we need to launch a special package from Northeast India, under which we can connect holistically with Southeast Asia, like Brahmaputra Mekong initiative. That's my plan. We can elaborate it later on, sir. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, this is a new proposal you have given, and I hope if you give a write-up to us, then definitely we'll consider it. So please give a write-up to us. Because in education sector also Myanmar and this part is really lacking actually. And now you are getting students from Laos, like that. Myanmar also you have got lots of you see potentialities in education sector, because I personally have visited there. MIT, Myanmar Institute of Technological Institute, that is you see constructed by Government of India by spending 125 crores, and still this institute is being run by 8 professors headed by Dr. Raja. From Triple IIT Bangalore, Bangalore. Apart from that, 2 sectors in Myanmar and that part particularly is Southeast Asian part. One is medical and one is education. So I requested actually your previous education minister many times that you make a roadshow along with your some professors who are connected with the Southeast Asian studies, and make a roadshow in Myanmar and as well as in Myanmar, Laos, and other and Dhaka also. So I said, I requested many times, but somehow it doesn't work. Anyway, my effort is on for this, because in those areas, because they complained actually when I visited Myanmar. So chief minister of one province, so he requested me that please speak some word to your Manipur government, because our people, because for them, the Manipur Civil Hospital, Manipur Imphal Civil Hospital is the biggest hospital for them actually in Myanmar as of today. So they say that you speak a word to your Manipur government, so that if our people goes, they are not sick heavily actually, so they are allowed. So like that in education also, because I have seen personally, I have visited also this MIT Myanmar Institute of Technology. So that is being constructed by Government of India, and education sector, they are not, you see, going ahead like us. So we have got lots of potentialities in education sector, what you have proposed actually. So that my effort is on, but I requested previous education minister, not present education minister. I spoke to him many times, make one roadshow at least. I'll definitely, if necessary, the whole payment, ticket, lodging, fooding, everything I'll do. So I spoke to your previous minister, not present education minister, previous ministers. So make a roadshow for this. So that my effort is on. So please give me a write-up so that I can look into it better. Okay. And you are just like my brother. You don't come to me also. Don't see me also. Don't say hello to me also. I don't know where you are. You are busy, I know. So you can share, because that was actually requested our education minister that one center of Southeast Asian center should be there at Guwahati University. That was my request to your minister. Ultimately done, and you are interested. It's good. I'm happy that you are doing very good silently. This is good also. So give me one write-up, I'll do it. So I'd like to take an actually I'll like to request our Vice Chancellor. Actually, it would have been very good had I been here for a long time actually. All you see, resource person will speak very nice obviously, but I have got another webinar actually. So if you permit me, can I go? If you permit. Or otherwise I have to cancel that webinar. It is actually, it is also very important, because all TIC, GM and some companies, industries are related to that webinar actually. So if you allow me, I can go, otherwise I'll sit Because
Yes.
if you allow, if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
On behalf of our university, I thank you, Honorable Minister, that you have spent so much of time with us. It is actually, to be frank enough, we did not expect that you will stay so long. Thank you once again that you have so many cities.
But my request to you and Nonigopal Mohanto and Vice Chancellor Deepak Sharma, that whatever the discussion you take, whatever the discussion is there today, interaction among you. So if I get a gist of this from you and from Nonigopal Mohanto, then at least I'll be able to ask the department to follow it up. And if necessary, our department will visit you, your university, and Nonigopal's Center for Southeast Asia, and we'll work together. So the whole day deliberation today and tomorrow, if you kindly give away short writings from you and from Nonigopal Mohanto, then it will be beneficial for us actually. And accordingly, we'll in touch. So with your permission, I'll take leave and all the best.
Thank you so much.
Because I have got another webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, Mr. Chandra Mohan Patwari, sir, for gracing our event today and giving us so much of your valuable time. We know how much it could be, how much busy your schedule could be. So thank you so much once again for joining us and gracing our program. I also thank Professor Jyotiraj Pathak from Bodoland University for making such a relevant and beautifully explained observation of Professor Nonigopal Mohanto sir's speech. And we thank you, sir, for joining us today's event and making it a fruitful one. Thank you, sir. I also thank once again Professor Nonigopal Mohanto sir for making such a elaborate and lucid deliberation today in our event and giving us so much of time from his extremely busy schedule. So thank you so much, sir. And with your due permission, sir, now we would like to proceed to the next speaker of today's event. So can we move, sir, to the next program? Unmute video.
Yes, Dr. Nandita, please proceed. Dr. Nandita, please proceed.
Okay, thank you, sir. So it is our pleasure to announce that we have another distinguished speaker who have joined us all the way from Bangkok, Thailand, and we extend a warm welcome to you, sir. We have with us Dr. Muhammad Fahim. A brief introduction about Dr. Muhammad Fahim. Dr. Muhammad Fahim is a lecturer at the Indian Studies Program, Pridi Banamyong International College, Thammasat University, Thailand. He holds master degree and PhD degree in geography from Aligarh Muslim University, India. Dr. Fahim's research areas include India's relation with ASEAN, international migration, urban geography, economic geography, political geography. He was a former visiting research fellow at the Institute of Asian Studies, Chulalongkorn University. Forgive my pronunciation. He has also taught at the Srinagarivariat University and Bangkok Thornbury University. Apart from several articles published in international reference journals, Dr. Fahim also has 2 edited books on India-ASEAN engagement, economic and social dimension, published by New Century Publication, and Evolving Narratives in Humanities and Management, published by New Delhi Publishers. He is a member of Advisory Committee of Sir Syed Global Excellence Award. He is also a member of Thailand and Malaysia Think Tank Scholars Network and Scholars Network for Peace. He is an international advisor under FICCI Global Youth Entrepreneurship and Industry Connect 2020. Dr. Fahim is an advisory board member in the editorial board of Suryabhumi, a peer-reviewed international journal of multidisciplinary research, India, and also a member of editorial board of an international multidisciplinary quarterly research journal, Ajanta, in India. Dr. Mohammad Fahim will be speaking on the topic, prospects of physical linkages between India and Southeast Asia region. So I welcome you, Dr. Mohammad Fahim, sir, and I request you to begin your speech. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I think everyone audible. My voice
Yes,
is
you're audible.
And first of all, I'm very much thankful to the University of Kumar Bhaskar Verma Sanskrit and ASEAN Studies University in Assam. And I'm very happy to be talk in this conference. The theme is COVID-19 and Active Policy, India Opportunity and Challenge in South Asia. Very first thing I would like to say that previous speaker already covered every aspect of the relationship between India and Southeast Asia. But I'm very disappointed to know what will be during the time of COVID, what are the challenges and opportunities in order to the engagement between India and Southeast Asia. So I will try to focus on this also. And apart from my topic of prospect of fiscal linkage between India and Southeast Asia. As the previous speakers already mentioned about, we have historical and cultural linkage. As Professor Nani, to whom I know and personally meet in couple of years back in Bangkok, because he mentioned that his my student went there to study in his center, and he mentioned about the phases of our Indian engagement with the Southeast Asia. So I'm not going to repeat of that, but when come on the Axis policy, and I would like to mention, I think if he is here, he can include one C, which is I can say very important, apart from the commerce, culture, and connectivity, and he mentioned about community. But I would like to make a very important thing, which is particularly in the time of the COVID and post-COVID, capacity building. So capacity building is also very important, because India has a strength to, as he mentioned, that most of the CMLV countries, they are left behind of the education. So India has a potential to provide this capacity building programs. So India in this way can be engaged more on that. And also we should understand, since the is policy, look is policy, before the Axis policy, we have to know the assessment of the engagement, and after the taking the part of the Axis policy, which is Professor Nani rightly mentioned, it is not about the economic and cultural, and it is about the security in a more engagement in the Indo-Pacific regions. So in this regard, I also want to add, before I'm going to on my topic, which of talking about the physical linkage, this is I would like to say that academic engagement is very, very important, particularly more important, because we know that ASEAN country, if you know the demographic profile, you will see that 35% of the young people, and India is also a young country. So we have to need to do group of the people from India and ASEAN, you can say Southeast Asia, have to be more engagement, more engagement. So when you have more engagement, more understanding. When you have more understanding, trust will be built up. So you can be work together. So that is a young populations from the both regions should be come together. That is a people-to-people contact is more. Even we can start after the COVID scenario. So young generation should be visit Thailand wherever you are working. Suppose you are learning, you are teaching, you have any conference in this region, you have to become. You have when you will come, you will be understand the culture of this country. And one thing reason of this, what is the unique thing of, because if you see the whole world now is focused on ASEAN. So everyone wants to be part of the ASEAN, ASEAN 16, RCF. Even the America is not here, but they want. But something, it is the growth pole because of the way they move after establishment, they are moving towards a better tomorrow. So that is the one reason that youth of India should come, and whenever they have opportunity to come, apart from the tourism, whatever your professional, if you are a student, you have to become. So in this way, we can be more understanding, more engagement. So that is a one platform that we can develop to more strong relationship between India and Southeast regions. And because, and now we come on the connectivity. Of course, connectivity is very essential, very important role to play to make the relationship. So what I am going to the physical linkage with the Professor Nani already mentioned, we have a connectivity from Thailand, Myanmar, Thailand Trilateral highways. That is 1,300 kilometers. Is connect from the eastern part of India to the Thailand, and then Thailand you can be moved to Malaysia and in Singapore. So the movement is high. So then you can enhance your economic activities as well as the people-to-people contact. So that is connectivity is play a very significant role. As the previous speaker already mentioned about the northeast part is very critical, particularly under the ACTIS policy to connect with the Southeast Asia. So that is a very northeast region can be play a bridge between two countries. So that is we have to understand what is the scenario, because no one know. As if you know the IMT Trilateral Phase, it is actually it was coming into exist in 2016, but it is a delay. But no one know exactly when will be start. You have to more delay. It means you will be going to lose the opportunity which is exist with the connect with the ASEAN countries, particularly in Southeast Asian countries. So connectivity is very significant. As the minister already mentioned, and the last couple of I think last year they have started to not from Guwahati to Bangkok, means Uran. So they have a different flight. This is also very good move by the government of India to connect with this. So more movement is there. So more understanding and more understanding. As Professor Nani mentioned that cultural wise very similar. If I can say that because I am living in Thailand last 11 years, there is a lot of similarities in terms of the languages, in terms of the, of course, the religion of Buddhism. So, and also we have to understand that how you can attract the Thai Southeast people to India, because it is a mutual significance, should be a mutual significance. It is not a one way that India get benefit and Southeast countries should be get benefit. So as I being a teacher, my lecturer, I always say that India is a very vast country, lot of opportunity, especially in tourism sector. So, and of course, if you in this regard, lot of opportunity for Southeast people to go to tourism in India, and in this way the Indian economy will be benefited. So this kind of engagement should be taken place in very good way. So in this way we can strengthen our relation between India and Southeast region. And also some speakers previous say that That is very much similarity between the Northeast India and South Asia. Of course, when you see, I have example of the many Thai students who study in India, okay, and they are very benefited being a Southeast Asia and the similarity of with the similarity of Northeast Asia. Whenever they visited to Agra, okay, as a foreigner, so they actually the entry fees is $20. So but by face, by looking, they look like Northeast people. So the officer recognize they are Northeast people, and then they get only 20 rupees. So they also say, I come from Manipur, I come from Assam. Easy to say because physical structure is there. So that is thing happening over there also. And also as one thing also, now we come on the opportunity and challenges in COVID, because now COVID and no one know this outbreak, COVID pandemic, how long. But we India have an opportunity. I would like to say some area where India can opportunity. As I think you all of you know about the Thailand is a one of the best country who tackled the COVID situation. I am here last 60 days. There is no local transmission is taking place simply because of the health system of this country. So India should be learned from that. This is opportunity for India to learn. On the other area, India got opportunity during the COVID, that is education sector, because nowadays, you know, the online classes, the virtual conference, webinar is very easy and people are easy to connect. It is not possible before the COVID, but now India has potential in this area, in education sector. They can be engaged with the Thai people through the virtual world. So more talking and discussion. So in this way, they can be, and of course, nowadays, you know, if India can offer the online courses to the Southeast Asian regions student, because no need to online is easy because it is a now new normal phenomena. So that is one area India can be get opportunity in this regard. And also India get opportunity as our Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, has likely mentioned, we have to be self-reliant. So self-reliant means now the post-COVID scenario, you will see that most of the countries, they are looking for their development plan is based on inward looking approach. Okay, how to stand by yourself. So now if you see the Thailand is a hub of tourism. Here their economy is depend on tourism sector. Almost 18% of their GDP depend on tourism sector. But due to the COVID, foreigners cannot come. So of course there is a big challenge before the Thai economy. So what they do, they have to promote domestic tourism under the control of through the control of some norms of the COVID, just like social distancing, mask. Very much a good control in Thailand. So in this way, they can be see that how to get benefit from this kind of the concept, because if you know that in the Southeast country, most of the countries are well protect means they can control the COVID. So, for example, of Vietnam is one of the best examples. So these kind of things they can learn, and how to revive their economy, so they can be taken into consideration. And I would like to mention also that because of some speaker rightly mentioned about that, this is a role of the sub-regional engagement between India and Southeast region, particularly mention about the Ganga Mekong regions and BIMSTEC. If you see, geography is very important, because being a geographer, I know that geography is very important. If you see the Mekong, Ganga and BIMSTEC, two organizations, where is country like Thailand is a part of both sub-regional organizations. And if you see the geography of the Thailand in Southeast regions, this is a very centrality. And you can see that this is the way. If they have a good relation with the Thailand, with India, they can easy to connect, because easy to connect to another part of Southeast regions. So centrality of the ASEAN, centrality of Thailand in ASEAN is very important. That is why two countries now, Thai government also try to become active part of the BIMSTEC, because India is such a big huge market, and Thailand has the advantage of, if you know, that manufacturer hub. So they need market, because India is a 1.3 billion consumer. Mean you can say big market. So now, and if you see the strength of the Thailand is in many sectors, just like food processing. Food processing is a very excellent. So now is one of the company in CP. Now they come footprint in this area in India, in some other part of India. So that is the area that Thailand is a very important country for India. And if you know that religion and culturally, and particularly the language is very much similar. So I think this is the area where India can get benefit. But what is the challenge? As I told you, sir, the challenge is before India to engage with Southeast Asia is post COVID-19 scenario. If you see, as I mentioned before, that Thailand is a tourism sector. Now they welcome to the people from other country. But what a situation in India, all of you well know, more than million of the cases is coming out. So it is very difficult for Thailand to open for Indian to come as a tourist and one other purpose, because they are worried about this COVID cases, because that is the one of the challenge for even now, even the post COVID, because now we can say there is a no right things we can see in India, especially the cases is increasing. So in this way, this is one of the challenge before India post COVID to engage in South East Asia, particularly in Thailand. So in this way, because I'm not going to touch much about the connectivity which our organizer said that I'm talking, because already whatever the previous speaker had mentioned, I am going to mention about these projects which is bring the connectivity, but still I can say it is not much in reality form. That is a concern. Let's see when it is going to reality form. But now I think say India should be more engaged some other sub-regional engagement rather than regional level. They have one more thing. There is a one sub-regional organization, Greater Mekong sub-regional, because in that China is also part of that. So that is the one reason India should be come forward. Of course, there is a good relation with Vietnam. Vietnam is a part of that Greater Mekong sub-region. So I think is overall picture when you see, because I think if you see the advantage of connectivity, no doubt it is a benefit of Northeast, and Northeast is, if you see that one of the most diverse region in India, where is a more than 300 diversities there, and that is the most underdeveloped, you can say, as of now. But now, if Northeast want to prosperous, so they should be connected. And Indian government, I think some extent they want to do to engage Northeast part to be a hub of the Act East policy. That is a good initiative, and because through this Northeast very difficult to engage, especially the physical engagement with the Southeast Asia. I'm very happy to be part of, because I'm going to finish. I am not much talk because already previous speaker have to trace out the historical linkage and everything. But what I say that is my personal experience living in Thailand, how they look to Thailand and in India, and particularly in Southeast Asian regions. Of course, the biggest challenge for India, of course, the trade is not very up, not 90 billion US dollar as compared to China is a 400 US billion. That is a no comparative at all. So that is one of the area. Apart from the culture, no doubt the culture engagement is very strong, and also India has offered to do many things to India, but we have to create the concrete policy and engage. As once again, last but not least, I would like to emphasize once again that students, particularly students, try to engage yourself in Southeast region. Then you can understand the things here. You have to culture, because sometimes they have a cultural shocks, but as such, no, because when you are try to understand, you will find there is a lot of similarities, and you have to develop the trust. When you have a developed trust, then you can be cooperation. When you can you work together in the future, then the more a strong relationship between India and Southeast region. So young youth, that is why I am an advisor to FICCI, Entrepreneurship is a Go Connect, Industrial Connect. So this is my responsibility, how to this concept of FICCI to bring in the among the Thai people, particularly Thai people here, to understand what India is doing. So that is why more collaboration, more cooperation in the future, when they understand the concept of entrepreneurship, so they can work together. When they have to work together, it is at the last. Don't in my personal view, I am not blaming to anyone, but in my personal view, don't be depend on the government what they are doing. They are doing, but as a citizen level, as an individual level, you have a potential to do something to more engage with the Southeast region, particularly university students, those who are in the academic areas. So I think this is a very important that people to people contact is the most important than the government to government diplomatic relationship. So thank you once again for giving this opportunity to express my view, whatever. I think in some extent you understand what I want to say, and let me say very challenging time is coming ahead between the India and South Asia post-COVID scenario. Thank you very much, and I'm very happy to be part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Muhammad Fahim, sir, for giving us such a thought-provoking and lucid presentation today. I'm particularly thankful to you for focusing on COVID-19, which was actually in the previous deliberation, which was not very elaborately discussed. So thank you for focusing on the situation or the entire scenario of COVID-19 in respect of India and also the Southeast Asian region. And you rightly said that we can think about more of e-connectivity between, because especially in the present time when the physical movement of people are very limited. So it is the e-world that is actually literally keeping us alive. Otherwise, there were lots of mental problems which are going on, starting on depression and so on.
That is why I am here. That is why I'm here, because of COVID. Otherwise, yes. I don't know. Yeah.
No, I hope otherwise also you will in future also you will be with us in many occasions. Yes, sir. This is a very important point or relevant point that you have highlighted. And apart from that also, you have said about the trade competition between India and China. So India definitely lagging behind China in terms of the trade and commerce, because major share of trade and commerce of Southeast Asian region are actually dominated by China if we compare between India and China. So thank you so much for giving us this engrossing presentation today. And with your due permission, sir, I now would like to request the Controller of Examination of Kumar Bhaskar Verma, Sanskrit and Ancient Studies University, Dr. Susanto Kaisap sir, to give a observation on our speaker, Dr. Muhammad Fahim sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nandita. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. From very beginning, actually from morning session, I am actually listening all the lectures from our honorable visitors to Professor Noni Gopal Mohanto. Almost our honorable president, our exactly out the important issues, issues of the activist policies, which can be, which have already, which government have already started, and which is yet to be started from government department, and which also what is happening at present regarding the implementation of active Southeast policy, which was formerly known as actually active policy. Really, I have personally benefited from their lectures, and now I actually heard Professor Muhammad Farhin lectures. He also appreciated our previous speakers, and he also almost in the same thinking. His thinking was almost same with our previous speakers. But I think I would like to mention one important thing, that apart from that commerce, trade, then cultural accumulation, he rightly pointed out one important thing, that is capacity building. It touched me actually. Capacity building is far most important. It was not mentioned earlier actually. That point is very much important, and I think that point should be reached to the department. That should reach the government department. So we have to rethink about our capacity building, because India have the potentiality in these areas, in this capacity building. I am especially thankful for this at this point to Professor Muhammad Sahim. And apart from that, he's also mentioned the academic linkage, which is another very important in the present scenario, that more engagement of young population, more engagement of young population for more understanding. Really, it's really a very important point, that people to people contact. Yes, this is actually, we have, these areas are actually unexplored. We have to explore. We have to focus on this area. Here, apart from that, he also mentioned the important thing regarding our, the Northeast is the hub of, Northeast is the gateway of Southeast Asia, So therefore, connectivity, important point. He rightly mentioned about connectivity. Then he also highlighted some important issue, that India have the opportunity, particularly educational sectors, then self-reliance. One thing he mentioned, where our honorable Prime Minister have taken a policy towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliance. He also mentioned about this, because India have to be self-reliance, and I think that this type of assimilation, that northeastern state with the South Asian countries, it will help to become self-reliant if appropriate policies and appropriate decisions and appropriate steps towards this is taken by government. Apart, that Northeast, he rightly mentioned that Northeast is really a very beautiful tourist spot, that we have the potential. How we can, he also mentioned some important point regarding the attraction of tourists from Southeast country to our countries. Then he also pointed out that Thailand, which country is totally tourist based, whose economy is mainly tourist based, but their economy collapsed due to COVID-19 last year. But he mentioned that some geometric tourism. He mentioned about geometric tourism in Thailand, that for boosting up their economy, we have to think in that line also. It's really his lecture has some important point which was not actually mentioned earlier. So we have to proceed this way. Otherwise our this policy, otherwise our these steps which our government has taken regarding assimilation of Northeast India or India to other Southeast Asian countries. Otherwise it will be impossible. I am thankful especially for his resourceful and valuable and thought-provoking lecture. It's really a thought-provoking lecture. I think our coordinator, she will point out the important points from your lecture, and it will send to our honorable minister. Already our minister has requested our university and Professor Nonigol Mohanto sir to feedback to the main points of this webinar to send to the department. Thankful. Thank you, sir, for your nice deliberation. I hope to meet you again in such a public, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Nandini.
One thing I would like to add, before I'm going, actually, a couple of years I attend here Northeast Festival. In that program, the Professor Nani came, and when I watched the program and I saw various cultural program or diversity of cultural program, it is very vibrant, very vibrant. So
very vibrant, yeah.
Thai people should, if they connect with this kind of the culture, they say, so they have more attraction towards the Northeast people. So more engagement will be. It is not about one way. It should be a two-way engagement.
Two-way engagement. Yeah.
So otherwise, one-way engagement will be not very much useful. So I think
otherwise fruitful. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Two-way engagement from both sides. Yeah. That will be fruitful. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Susanto Kumar Kaisop, sir, for making such an elaborate and beautifully highlighted observation of Dr. Muhammad Fahim's presentation. And yes, you have rightly highlighted about the importance of capacity building, connectivity, people-to-people contact, and also specifically the importance of tourism. So I'm sure our audience, our participants have benefited hugely from your deliberation, sir. And we thank you again for joining us today and gracing our program. And we hope that in future also we will have many occasions to have you with us. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you. Okay, it's over.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Now we would like to proceed to the next program of our event. And I would like to request Dr. Modan Chandra Boro, sir, who is the head of the Department of Political Science of Kumar Bhaskar Verma Sanskrit and Ancient Studies University, to give some remarks, final remarks regarding today's program. So I request you, Dr. Modan Chandra Boro, sir, to please kindly unmute and is there? Not there? I think sir has lost his connection, so I request the participants to wait for a few minutes.
Hello. Hello. Nandita, is it audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Is it audible? Acha.
Yes, sir.
Namaskar. Good afternoon to all. So, first of all, I thank all for participating in one-day international webinar on topic COVID-19 and Aegis policy, India's opportunities and challenges in South Asia. So, it was a very great opportunity for us to conduct such a program during this type of pandemic situation. So our department is also new, as well as the study center is one where old. So in this program, so I thank all for participating in this program. So I have nothing to remark because every speaker has excellently spoken about the different topics and observation has been made for every speeches. So one thing left with me to thank all on behalf of our university as well as our department. So first of all, I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor of Kumar Bhaskar Verma Sanskrit and Ancient Studies University for helping us to conduct this type of program. And today also he has also in online and being supporting us, giving a welcome address as well as inaugural speech. So thank you, sir, for your kind and constant support to our department as well as center. So now I would like to offer my sincere thanks to Honorable Minister of Assam, Sri Chandramohan Patwari. He has made a great offer as well as given a great opportunity to us to open a center for Southeast Asian studies. And he has been in touch with us from the last 2 years in connection with the programs to be organized relating to the Southeast Asian studies. So he has also very much spoken elaborately about the government initiatives, progress about government infrastructural activity, connection activity, and as economic prospects of the state as well as northeastern region. So thank you, sir, for your kind presentation, because it is not possible for other to present this type of lecture, because you are in the department as well as in the ministry. You have the adequate information and the correct person to give this type of lecture. So thank you, sir, for giving a valuable time to our webinar. Now, I would like to thank our esteemed teacher as well as my guru, Professor Noni Gopal Mohanto, Professor, Department of Political Science, Guwahati University. He is also Director of Center for Southeast Asian Studies. He is constantly with us in different activities. And last time also, he participated, he supported us as giving a lecture in the FD programs. So this time also, we have got an opportunity to explore his valuable lecture as well as information. Your kind support as well as a presentation will support us and morally boost all our faculty members to carry different types of activity in near future. So thank you, sir. Now I would like to thank Dr. Mohammed Faim. He is from Thailand. Sir has made a very lucid speech on the prospects of physical linkage between India and South Asia. He has given a very lucid and informative information about the prospects of linkages between India and Thailand in near future. We shall try to connect the entire ASEAN nations to study on different political as well as geostrategic perspective in our university we will have your kind support and connection with our deep in near future also. So thank you again, Prime Sir, again. So now I would like to thank our two observers who has participated in this program and they made an impressive observation. So one is my colleague, Dr. Jyotiraj Pathak, HOD Department of Borderland University, Department of Political Science. So he has made an impressive comment as well as observation on the speech of Noni Gopal Mohanto sir. And one is our controller, Dr. Susan Kumar Kashyap, who has given a very peculiar type of observation that he's pointed out that we need something, two things that we can connect in capacity building. So one thing that Nondita, is it audible?
Yes, yes, you are back, sir. Yes.
So the Dr. Susan Kumar Kashyap, he has made some beautiful remark. So we do hope to collect all this information and make a gist of this lecture as well as observations. So now I would like to thank our dedicated silent worker of the university. He is not other than the registrar of our university, Dr. Hemendra Kumar Sharma. He has been working hard with us for the long time to conduct this type of program. And since very beginning of opening of this program, he has been very much supporting our coordinator to work with dedication. I think Sir is online. I would like to thank him again. Now, I would like to thank our university IQAC coordinator. He is Dr. Kamal Roshan Atrio. He has been in touch with us for in different programs. So his constant support is also a path for meaningful success of this program. So I would like to thank him. So now I would like to thank all our participants from different universities as well as colleges, our alumni students, our existing students, as well as well-wishers to make this program a grand success. Now I would like to thank our technical assistant, Sri Bonojit Rabha and his colleagues for supporting us in technical know-how as well as supports to conduct this two-day international webinar. Now I come to my department. I would like to thank Dr. Pankaj Kumar Sharma. He has successfully conducted two programs. One is FDP and other is international webinar. So he is a well-known face in this platform. So I would like to thank him for supporting the department to conduct this type of program. So now I would like to thank Mr. Hirokjit Roy, Assistant Professor, Department of Political Science, and Ankur Jyoti Bhuya for their dedicated effort to conduct this type of programs. And finally, I would like to thank our coordinator, Dr. Nandita Khaklari. She had been working very hard to make this program a grand success. Our best wishes are with her. So today's program will be over by this speech. So our program of tomorrow will start at 11 a.m. So we have the two resource person, one for Mr. Sajjad Alam. He is the Deputy Secretary of Government of Assam in the Department of Industries and Commerce. I think he will give some meaningful as an informative speech. And next resource person is M. Amarjit Singh. He is from Jamia Millia University. He is also looking after a Center for Northeastern Studies and Policy Research. So, thank you. Wish you all good health. Stay safe, stay secure. Namaste. Jai Hind. Over to Nandita.
Thank you so much, Dr. Madan Chandra Boro, sir, for your beautiful remark, and also the formal vote of thanks to all the distinguished guests, invited speakers, and the participants who have joined us from different parts and institutions of across the country. And we have almost came to the end of today's session, but before we conclude, I would like to again announce that tomorrow we have another program where two distinguished speakers will be speaking on different topics on the theme of this international webinar. And the session will start at 11 a.m. like today. And we will send the joining link to the respective WhatsApp groups that we have created. Our participants must have already seen that, and we will send them email link in the email also. So that is for tomorrow's, this announcement is for tomorrow's program, and I request all the participants to access their email and WhatsApp group where we will share the link for tomorrow's program. So we have come to the end of this beautiful session today, and I once again thank all the dignitaries who had joined us, the Honorable Minister, Mr. Chandra Mohan Patwari sir, our Vice Chancellor of Kumar Bhaskar Burma, Sanskrit and Ancient Studies University, Professor Deepak Kumar Sharma sir, Registrar of Kumar Bhaskar Burma, Sanskrit and Ancient Studies University, Dr. Hemendra Sharma sir, and Dr. Susanto Kumar Kashyap sir, Controller of Examination of Kumar Bhaskar Burma Sanskrit and Ancient Studies University, our distinguished speakers who have joined us from all the way from Thailand, and also Professor Nonigopal Mohanto sir for joining us despite his extremely busy schedule. So I thank you all and all the participants also for gracing our event today. Thank you so much for joining today, and hope to see you tomorrow again. I request Dr. Madan Chandra Boro sir to finally end the program.
Nandita.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Sir, please
good afternoon to all.
Yes.
Namaste. Today it is a very impressive lecture, and I think all participants enjoyed lecture of all resource person, our guest, as well as the observation of observer. So thankful to all. So with this word, today I declare the session is over, and it will be resumed tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you.